Panel interviews can feel intimidating. All the multiple eyes on you, the rapid fire questions, and the overwhelming pressure to do well. But what if I told you that we could turn this challenge into an advantage? In today's episode, we're going to explore 3 strategies that will build your confidence as you go into your next panel interview. And if you stay around until the end, we're going to give you 1 bonus strategy that will help you truly shine at the next opportunity. Grab your pen, grab your piece of paper, get ready to take some notes because we're going to get started right now. Hey there, Dr. Gordon Amerson here, Superintendent of Schools and Gallup Certified Strengths Coach. And on this channel, we leverage my experience from classroom teacher all the way to the office of school district superintendent to help you go further, faster in your educational journey. If this is your first time with us, welcome in. Thank you for being here. While you're here, don't forget, hit that subscribe button as well as the bell notification so you don't miss any cool updates or any of our latest episodes or content. Sheesh. I'm not even sure how many panel interviews I've either been a part of or sat for, but I can tell you that panel interviews can feel like a boatload of pressure. So I know what you're feeling. I know what you're experiencing. I know what you may be going through as you're preparing for your next interview if you know that you're going to have a panel. But let me just give you a few things to think about just in general terms. Having sat on hundreds of panels and having been a part as an interviewee of a number of different panels, here's what I know about panels. They want you to do well. When people have to spend the day on an interview panel, they didn't go into that process wanting the candidates to fail. As a matter of fact, we as interviewers, we desperately want you to do well because we're looking for the next person to join our team. We're looking for the next person to join our organization. So don't go into the interview feeling like the deck is stacked against you. In fact, you have a bunch of allies. You have a bunch of folks who want you to do well, and they just want to find a way to pull out all the greatness that's inside of you. So I want to give you 3 strategies that will help you. I know they've helped me, but I want to help you as well. Just stand out. Now, I can't foretell that you're going to get the job because there are a number of different variables that go into who gets the job offer, but I'm going to do my best to help you put your best foot forward and making sure that you're prepared, making sure that you package yourself in such a way and that you present yourself in such a way where you're going to leave an impression. What you want is people thinking about you, saying your name, and reviewing your paperwork after you've left the interview room. You want your name on their minds, even when the next candidate is in the chair. You want to have left such a good impression on them that they're still thinking about you when the next candidate comes in and the next candidate after that. So let's jump in to these 3 strategies that are going to help you stand out in your next panel interview. All right, let's jump right into strategy number 1 as you prepare for your next panel interview. And strategy number 1 is to master the art of eye contact and engagement. Now, this one you got to get right because this is the one where you build capacity, you build allyship, you build trust, you build connection. So I want you to think about, how do you effectively engage with your eyes, and how do you meet and connect with people throughout the interview by making good eye contact and with trying to find ways to engage them in the conversation. So 2 things come to mind. First thing is make sure not to leave anybody out. If you've got a panel of 4 or 5 people, be scanning that room and be trying to connect with each of them individually in different ways throughout the interview. And the very first way that you can do that is starting with whoever on the panel asked the question. So if the very first question comes from the panel member that is immediately to your left, then my recommendation is to pan to them, make eye contact with them, and start your response by making good eye contact with them and beginning your response, and then finding ways to then move to the other panelist. But starting with the person who's asking the question and being able to authentically connect with them in that moment that they have the floor and they're asking the question is a powerful strategy, right? So when you get the question, start with the person who's asking the question, begin your eye contact and engagement there, and then work the rest of the room. The second strategy to master engagement, and most panels do this, not everybody, but most panels either have a name tent. So the person who is the interviewer, their name may be visible to you, or at the very bare minimum, if you can, if they go around the table and introduce themselves and they give their names, if you can, try to write their names down. Because another powerful way to create engagement and connection and build relationship immediately is then by using their names throughout the interview. So if somebody on the panel's name is Ronnie, then finding a way to build in and say, Ronnie, thank you so much for that question. It was a great question, Ronnie. So here are my thoughts. So you're building some engagement and connection with folks. If they're more formal and you see Mr. or Mrs. or you see Doctor, but using names in an effective way to build that connection is a way to master that eye contact and that engagement in the room that's going to build connections. And I think that's a powerful strategy, and that is strategy number 1. All right, let's move to strategy number 2. And strategy number 2, as you prepare for your next panel interview, is to prepare and deliver strong, structured answers using specifically the STAR method. So, as a reminder, the vast majority of interviews will start with a question that really asks you to explore and talk about who you are, your knowledge, your background, your education, your experience, and what qualifies you for the position. So in that opening question, it's really on your terms, what you choose to share about your background, what you choose to share about your education, what you choose to share about your experience, all on your terms. But remember that once we get past that first question and you get questions 2 through 8 or 2 through 9, you're going to be getting most likely scenario-based questions. And so you're going to want to have a strong framework by which that you tackle those questions. So we talk about it quite often. So you can check the cards above the video, or you can check a number of different videos on our channel. And we talk a lot about the STAR method: situation, task, action, and results. But using that STAR method. So for instance, if you get a question that talks about how you maybe have dealt with a difficult student, don't say simply, well, I build relationships. Instead, walk them through a more comprehensive response by setting up what the situation was, by then talking about the task that you had to undertake, and then the action that you chose to pursue, and then the results of that. But giving a more comprehensive response is going to show the depth and the complexity of the way that you analyze issues, the way you analyze challenges, whether it be in the classroom or be outside of the classroom. But making sure that you do a good job of that is going to be critically important of how you structure your responses to the interview question. All right. So preparing good, solid responses that are comprehensive in nature, that's strategy number 2. All right. Before we move to strategy number 3, go to the pinned comments below underneath the video because we have a free gift for you, specifically expanding on the STAR method, giving you more resources and more of an explanation about the framework and how to construct really solid responses using the STAR method. So go to that pinned comment below and click on that link and receive that free gift. And hopefully it serves you well as you move forward with preparing for your next interview. All right. And with that, let's move to strategy number 3. All right, let's talk about strategy number 3. And strategy number 3 is important because it's about managing our nerves, managing our stress and anxiety that we may be feeling. And so strategy number 3 is all about managing your energy and your body language. Here's what panels want. Panels want candidates that are confident, excited, energetic, exuding enthusiasm, right? They're looking for the next person to join their team. They're looking for the next person who's going to inspire students, inspire staff, inspire a community. So you've got to bring that energy, and you've got to bring that when you have that moment to shine in the interview. So think about the ways that you will project that. Make sure that your body language got strong, good posture. You're sitting in a very open, receiving type position. We're not doing things like crossing our arms. We're not doing things like rolling our shoulders over and seeming hunched over. We want to project. We want to project confidence, power, strength, enthusiasm, right? And so we want to seem very open and very ready and willing to receive. And we want to make sure that we're not fidgeting, right? We don't have any distracting nonverbals. We're not tapping on the table. We're not tapping our foot. We're not fidgeting in our chair. We're just being very, very present in the moment. And we're controlling our emotions. We're controlling our energy. And we're projecting body language that connects with the panel. Now, one final thing I would say in this same lane is make sure you're checking your voice pattern, your voice tone, and you're not rushing. Don't rush. Sit in the moment, answer questions, give details, slow down your speech pattern, be a little bit more clear and thoughtful in how you respond. Don't feel rushed, because if you feel rushed, your speech gets jumbled and it may be hard to understand, or things may be less clear. So just slow down. No need to speed up. Take that moment to be thoughtful and to be clear around what you want to communicate, because your energy and your body language is going to be a huge asset for you if you're able to manage it really, really well. And that is strategy number 3. Before we move to our bonus strategy, share with us in the comments below, how do you manage your body language? How do you manage your energy in an interview? Share with us any tips that you have, and share those with us in the comments below so we can share that with the community. The more information we get, the more tips we get, the more it will serve the community as a whole. So share those tips, and let's move to our bonus tip. All right. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for being here. And we want to share with you a bonus strategy that can help you even go further faster in your next interview, whether it's a panel interview or a one-on-one interview. But that bonus strategy is called the anchor and pivot method. So what is the anchor and pivot method? Well, it starts with, if you get a difficult question, anchor down on that particular question, making sure that you acknowledge, thank the person for asking that question, and then give a direct answer. And then you pivot. You pivot to a complementary strategy, a complementary experience, a complementary data point that will also enhance and extend and connect the answer that you gave when you anchored, right? So it's anchor, acknowledge the question, thank the person for asking the question, give a direct response, and then pivot to a complementary piece of information that is going to connect, extend, and align to that answer. So let me give you an example of what I mean in this anchor and pivot method. So imagine the interviewer asked, you don't have much experience teaching advanced placement courses. How will you handle that? So now there's your direct question, maybe a tough question because if you don't have that experience. But now we're going to use the anchor and the pivot method, and this is what the response could sound like. That's a great question. While I haven't taught AP courses directly, I have designed rigorous curriculum in my current role. In fact, I've created an advanced unit on biological sciences that challenge students at a higher level. That experience has prepared me to adapt quickly and excel in an AP setting. So this strategy helps to control the narrative, but also it gives a very, very good, solid response that even though I may not have the experience in that specific things, here's how I pivot and I show you my how dynamic I am, how resilient I am, and what other complementary skills I have that will align with where I may not have the formal training, but maybe I'd be a great candidate for it because I have some relevant experience. So even when you get a question that may be tough and you may not have the relevant experience, find ways to anchor to that question, validate the asker of the question, then pivot to that complementary experience. That is a great way to kind of stay in that moment and not have the panel just go, oh, well, yeah, they don't have the experience, so you get marked down for that. No, stay in that fight, stay in that moment, find ways to anchor and then pivot. That's going to serve you very, very well. All right, there you have it. 3 key strategies for your next panel interview and 1 bonus strategy as well. We want to continue to grow your skills, your knowledge, and your capacity. That is the mission of this channel. That is the mission of the work that we're trying to do. We want to grow a community of 10,000 educators that are leading our schools, leading our kids, leading our communities. And so use these resources, use this information to help you go further, faster. And if you want more information about how to crush your next interview, you can check out this next episode here as well. If you want more information on coaching resources, our weekly newsletter, any of that information, check the description below as well. We want to continue to grow and help you. Anything that we can do, we're here. We're here to support you. Give us your thoughts. Share them in the comments below. If you have questions, if you have certain topics you want us to cover, share that with us in the comments below so that way we can build information and build content that's going to serve you and serve you well. And don't forget, if you stayed to this point in the video, thank you so much. Share this with a friend, share it with 10 friends, like the video, subscribe to the channel. That will help us grow this community even that much more. All right. And until we see you on our next episode, as always, take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and be well. Thanks, everyone.